What's going on, guys? We have a ton of stuff to talk about, a little bit of a rant, and just give you my thoughts on some, I guess you could say, 4 weapons in the assault rifle and SMG category that you will want to check out after this brand new update from Raven Software in terms of the weapon balance in Warzone. And guys, it is shocking. Now, first off, huge shout out to Warzone Loadout on Twitter, Warzone_Loadout. They are a great page of rounding around things of just what is buff, what is nerf, and just giving you the simplistic details on stuff you want to know without going through those long lists of crazy stuff that Raven could just nonsensically throw out, and they condense it in a very good way. Give them a follow on Twitter if you guys have Twitter, and also they have a website. They also do the same things. These are weapon focus changes, and it's great. All that stuff is linked down below. Highly recommend you check them out. That's some of the imagery we'll be using is from them. Now, with that being said, let's jump into some of the stuff with Vanguard weapons. They've all seen some form of buff and a few Cold War weapons that were good, got some nerfs. Now, we won't be going into the details, we'll show you the list, but we kind of want to talk about what this means for the overall meta and where things go. So, basically, we'll be following the green and red arrows, as you have seen here. The Cold War AK-47 has gotten a nerf. This is a damage nerf for both minimum and maximum damage. The AS-44, which is a gun I highly praised a lot before Season 3, got some buffs, especially specifically with recoil, control, so that can be a good things we'll highlight there. The Arena Burst, which is a Vanguard burst weapon, got a buff. I don't know how useful this will be. I don't really like burst weapons too much, especially since that tac rifle nonsense from Warzone, that was a nightmare. But yeah, the bar, one of my favorite weapons to use in Warzone, actually got a buff, so good on that end. This is a great long range option. The Automation, another gun that's seen some ups and downs, have gotten a buff, another buff. It seems like we're getting slow buffs, hopefully not to crazy levels that it used to be, but again, some notable stuff. The XM4 from Cold War got a nerf specifically to him. Headshot damage multipliers and maximum damage has been decreased as well, so that should be interesting for that weapon. The Volk also got a minor minimum damage increase. The SCG probably got the juiciest changes of them all, and it's kind of shocking because this gun has been very good before this. So yeah, there's a lot of changes, and as you can see, it's a green arrow up. I think there should be 2 green arrows up, but we'll see how things play out. This weapon is definitely on my list, and we'll talk about that. Why? The NZ41 got some interesting changes, but I don't know how much it would be. Again, recoil changes overall to the base weapon, how it works has not been changed, so there's still a ridiculous amount of kick when you do hold the trigger, which can be a down for a lot of people, but it's still a powerful weapon. It was good before, it's getting better now. So if you guys really want to burst fire, tap fire, things like that, this is a great weapon to use. It's pretty good. Cooper Carbine got another buff. I don't know why this gun keeps getting buffs, but it's still very powerful. The EM2 from Black Ops Cold War, red arrow down. It got some headshot damage multiplier and minimum and maximum damage. It just has been in decrease, so that's not good. The KG M40 has seen a buff. And yeah, this gun is getting creepily better and better, so this should be an interesting option. And the brand new assault rifle, the Nikita AVT, has gotten some magazine increases and some minimum damage increases. So yeah. Now, when we slide over to SMGs, you're seeing here every Vanguard weapon here is, every weapon here is a Vanguard SMG, and they've all seen a buff, which is definitely interesting. The M1912 has seen some buffs. The Owen gun have seen some buffs, which is kind of crazy. This is making it even more powerful in longer range engagements for an SMG. The Sten has seen some healthy changes. The MP40 saw a buff, which is intriguing. The Wellgun saw a buff. The Armagera saw a buff. The Type 100 has seen a buff, and the PPSH from Vanguard also saw a buff. This is crazy. This is really crazy, honestly, guys. You look at this list, a lot of these SMGs are still being used well before this. The Well gun was being used a lot. The PPSH is still being used. The MP40 was kind of a crutch SMG, and the Owen gun was a crutch SMG. So it's kind of interesting to see a lot of these SMGs getting buffs, but we'll talk about that right now. So before we get into our list of stuff that is meta, let's talk about these changes as a whole and what do I think about them. I don't really like the fact that they're only focusing on Vanguard weapons. It's kind of like the theory of, they're only gonna make the newest Call of Duty games weapons better or the best because it's gonna increase sales for Vanguard, and I don't agree with that theory. But this patch notes kind of fulfill that theory. I think they really need to go back and look at what they said. They wanted to focus on weapon balance as a whole, whether it's Modern Warfare, Cold War weapons, and Vanguard weapons, and really create a healthy sandbox. And this is not that. This is forcing Vanguard stuff onto players, and the SCG is kind of a symbol of that. We'll see how things go, but it's going to be hard to use any other gun but the SCG. So I don't like them focusing on Vanguard stuff, making it forced on us, but what can I say? What can I do? If we play the game, just know that Vanguard stuff will be the favorite stuff and kind of the meta option. So that brings us to our list, and that list, we're going to start off with assault rifles because, yeah. Now, number one on this list, and guys, I don't even have to play the game to tell you this. It's pretty easy to look at this list and tell you what is the best. The SMG-44. It is remarkably more powerful. It got in buffs, and now it's to this degree. And well before this, I was using a lot of this stuff, but it's kind of crazy. This gun, I can't wait to see how effective it is. I think they might have to turn and revert a lot of these changes because it's going to level you. I know they updated the TTK on Caldera, but you might not feel that TTK anymore. So the SMG is number one on the assault rifle list. Now at number two, this may shock you a little bit, but the AS-44, give it a go. I'm being serious. This gun has very good medium range capabilities, probably not as good as the Cooper Carbine, but if you get up close and if the initial recoil has been decreased that much or a healthy bit, when you get used to that recoil, guess what? This weapon will absolutely level people in front of you. It's not even funny. And I would argue that this can compete with many of the SMGs, if not all of them already. So yeah. Now, number three on this list is the Cooper Carbine. It has to be because this gun is still very powerful. A lot of people still use it, and it's been getting better. It's the M13, but it's seeing more love from the developers. So there is that. And number four on this list, I'm going to shock a little bit of people, even though I love the bar. The KGM40 has made this list. This is a gun I pick up and is very effective with in general. So seeing a custom loadout and utilizing this a little bit more, this should be intriguing. This is definitely more of a medium range engagement weapon, and it seems to get a little bit longer now because they increased the maximum damage range. But the KGM40, definitely give it a go. It might be a powerful option for many players. Now let's add SMGs to this category. Let's go over and talk about what is the best. Now, for many reasons, number one will be Owen gun. This gun is definitely one of the most versatile SMGs we have ever seen in Warzone's history, whether it's Modern Warfare weapons or Cold War weapons. This weapon has range. This weapon has close quarter capabilities, depending on what barrel you pick, depends on what playstyle you do. So with the minimum damage being increased, it's going to be better in pretty much close and long range engagements for an SMG. So that's easily a number one. Now, number two, because it's still right next to the own gun with, you know, utility, flexibility, versatility, and things like that. The MP40. This gun is really powerful still. It's getting better again. And yeah, it's still very, very solid choice for many of those SMG lovers in Warzone. Now, number two is the well gun. This gun is getting more usage now, and it should get more usage now with these changes. The minimum damage has been increased, so this gun should get even better. So this is number three on my list. Number four, the PPSH-41 from Vanguard. This at one point was broken, got nerfed, and is seeing a slow creep of power. And with the minimum damage being increased to 19 from 17, and then the bullet velocity also increasing, this should definitely be a healthy option. And honestly, maybe this creeps up in at number one, depending on how it feels and how it used and the loadout, but we have to wait and see before I make that assumption. But in general, guys, that is my list here on screen. Use any of these 8 weapons, whether it's an SMG or an assault rifle, mix them all up, check them all out. We'll be making videos on these weapons, giving you updates, stuff like that. So if you guys are intrigued by that, you guys want to stay up to date with that. If you guys are also new here and not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified for when that content drops. If you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, definitely drop this video a like. And if you guys just have any comments about, you know, your thoughts on these changes, leave them down below. But yeah, that's all I gotta say on this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Challenge you here, and I'm out.